You like those? Okay, so those are speaker pins. Those are blessed by me so that you can hear deity. Hear deity.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you want to wear them on your collar so that they can whisper in your ear. I apologize.
Is one side better than the other?
No.
You're also going to want to make sure to speak like you've got your headphones on.
You bought one?
That's where the
Good job.
You want a second one?
Okay.
I mean, then you can put one on each lapel.
Super stylish.
Just be snazzy all day long. By the way, I love this too.
Isn't it neat?
It is
Got it at
absolutely.
the antique mall.
This is my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody knows why.
Fortuna!
Just
Well, no, Fortuna Brevis is one of the deities that I channel. She actually came to me and I was like, I don't worship Fortuna. And she said, no? And I said, no, you've been trying to get me to talk to you for a while. And she went, so you're not a fortune teller? And I went, well, yeah. And she said, so you're not a performer, kind of like a circus performer? You're not a dancer? And I went, yeah. She threw like 5 other things out at me that I can't remember now, probably because it seems commonplace to me. And then finally, and she said, and by the way, I'm the goddess of the wheel. And I went, oh shit, I worship Fortuna. So, it's an interesting connection. We just did Fortuna at Sickle this past year. I love all things Jester now. We did not invite the Joker to festival on purpose. We invited the Jester and we had other Fortuna aspects of God. We didn't invite the Joker. So I want you to know he put out a movie right when Sickle came out. When we were getting ready for Sickle and Fortuna was like, me, we were like, I don't know. She said, I'm going to be really big around Samhain.
you too.
And I said, I don't know. And she said, you just have to trust me. This is what we're going to do. And I was like, okay, you guys, we're going to do Fortuna. And so then I ended up in Vegas, and I was like, why am I in Vegas? And she's like, because we have work to do. You're going to stay at the Carnival because that's my hotel. And it was literally the cheapest hotel, and they upgraded us for not any more money. It was a really magical trip. Then we went, she said, there's a shrine to me in this place. Let's go find it. And so I'm walking, and she says, it's here. And I'm like, Caesar's Palace? And she's like, yeah, that's the one. There's a video of me going. She says there's a shrine to her in here. We're going to go in. And then there's this really funny thing that everybody's like, that's Fortuna being funny and saying hi. Because it's like strippers and stuff go by on a pad. And it somehow, it was perfect. Then we went into Caesar's Palace. And it was amazing. And I've never been in there before. Have you? You have? Yeah. Okay, so I walked and I had Fortuna's shoes on, which are not, they're Fluvogs, so they're $350 shoes, but they're not $350 worth of comfort. So they're not bad, but they're not hiking shoes. And I walked and and Caesar's Palace is big, and I walked and God dang it, it's opulent. There's stuff everywhere. It's amazing. Roman statues everywhere. It's a pagan paradise. But there's no Fortuna. So I walk. Finally, I'm like, Dusty, I just don't think I can go anymore. I want to find this shrine, but I just don't think I can go anymore. And I look up, and I'm at the base of a huge Fortuna statue that is in this beautiful place of, like, it's a shrine, right? And then the ceiling above her is domed out, and it's got the Olympian gods all looking down on her and stuff. It was absolutely amazing. I just cried. I stood there and cried. I was like, oh, I have to walk back out of here. No, that wasn't what I was crying about. It was so beautiful, you know? So this is chapter 4, and we're talking about invoking, channeling, patron deities, how to know who your patron deities are. When we first started, I said, I'm going to ask you who your patron deities are. And y'all were all like, oh, well, good. It's a good thing you're coming to this series because we cover this, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the difference between evoking and invoking. Do you know what the difference is? Does
No.
anybody know what the difference is? Okay, so I'm going to evoke, okay? And I'm going to let y'all see what that feels like. All right? Okay. If I stand up, will it totally mess up the... If I stand up, do I go out of frame?
Nope, your head's right at the top.
Oh, it's right at the top. Okay, well then I'll step back just a tad so I won't be totally at the top. The music is really nice. Great Mother, hear me pray. Great Mother of all of us, by whatever name we call unto you. Demeter, Hecate, Ceres, Isis, Pachamama. She who is our creatrix, she who gave birth to us, who provides for our abundance, she who gives us all that we need, created this paradise for us to grow. We call you to come and be with us. Let us feel you. Let us hear you. Let us know you. We invite you to this space, so motivate. Did y'all feel that? Did you feel it come? Yeah, did you feel something?
I feel like I've moved into a different place in my mind.
Okay, good.
A very calm place.
Very calm place
That's out there. This is
in here.
in here, kind of like with all of us, sacred space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was coming into.
What'd you feel?
It felt like a little filling, a little bit more full.
Ah, yeah, like the air's a little richer. Yeah? What'd you get, Roman?
Waves of that richer, fuller air coming from you, from where your body was. It just like ocean waves. Perfect metaphor. Felt like ocean waves, and as she described, it felt a little richer, a little bit fuller, and a little bit more in sacred space.
How did you feel?
The energy flow.
Yeah? Anything different?
Almost a feeling of a circle.
Contentment? A hug? Do you have something different to add?
I just felt coming into something that's not the mundane.
Hey, we've had
A mishap!
we've had a,
You need your unicorn.
I know.
Sebastian got left on the table.
Him wanted to stay home. Honey Bear took his spot.
Yeah.
Honey Bear. She's guarding the door.
You're good, baby.
She's making sure we're safe. She's Mama calling me. Honey Bear wants to come on, be up here with us.
She's so good.
You should be holding the camera. That's your job. That's your job. So evoking is different from invoking because evoking invites deity into the space. Invoking invites deity into you. And in Wicca, we worship through invocation. We bring the deity into ourselves and we experience whatever they have to share with us. So I'm going to do a couple of different invoking exercises for you. But first we're going to talk about patron deities and what that's all about. Okay? So patron deities, when you're born you get this natal chart. It's really cool, and if you pay attention to it, it'll tell you all kinds of neat stuff about yourself, and it'll tell you who your patron deities are too. The different planets where they were at when you were born. Some of them are malevolent, some of them are beneficial. All of them play roles in your life. Okay? And some of them you're like, yeah, you play a really good role in my life. And some of them you're like, whoo, stay away from that. You know? But it's kind of like the same thing when you've got family, you know? You've got cool Uncle Ted and crazy Uncle Henry. And I've told y'all about my family before. I have. Crazy Mary, Uncle Little Boy, and all of them. So you have this family pantheon of deities, and they're expressed through that wheel of the year. You know, there's all these zodiac signs, there's all these constellations, there's the astral is not as intangible as you would think, because everything that just think about this. If we are a spirit that has condensed into the physical, would things that were more spiritually powerful than us also condense into the physical in some kind of way? So when you're talking about the astral, it's all around us. It's the inner, it's the outer as well. But there's all those heavens out there. The reason that we have astrology and that it works is because all of these omnipotent heavenly bodies have to have a physical resting place to be. And they're in the stars, they're in the sky, and they're everywhere at once. You know, it's that omnipotent presence. You know who can astral project? No? Okay.
Haven't tried.
I've tried.
Don't know how.
Let me show you something. I think I turned the mirrors down on my phone. Okay, close your eyes. Now, I want you to picture your bathroom mirror. You just stand and picture yourself looking into your bathroom mirror. Now look down at the counter and look at the things that you know are right there, right now. Can you visualize this place? You put your energy into it, okay? Now, if you put enough energy into it, and if you wanted to bad enough, you could manifest your spirit right there in that bathroom right now. But we're not going to do that, so we're going to come on back here. Now, imagine if you were deity and you thought about that. How fast would it take you to get there? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I mean? So, deity as a higher vibration, more omnipotent, more ancient, more aware being, can be everywhere at once. But you got to think about this. If Gaia is a planet, okay, but it's also a spirit, right? Okay, there's a spirit around this, and we're like, oh, she's the all-giving mother. She does this. She's green, right? Look out at her. Sometimes she's brown, sometimes she's covered in flowers, but she's Gaia, right? So if you think, do you think she's the only planet with spirit?
No. I wouldn't imagine.
No, you wouldn't imagine. So all of those things out there are energies that have condensed into physical things, just like every physical thing has an energy. Remember how we talked about that? Thought forms, okay? So if every physical thing has an energy, then the energy of a life form, or the energy of a planet, or the energy of a human, or the energy of a planet or a star, which gives rise to the question of people over the centuries thinking that there's only one true God, and it's the sun god. Look at it in all its pleasant splendor. That's the only true God. All of the rest of them are just hanging out there dead in the sky, right? Now, we don't think that way, but you can see why somebody would look at that, an ancient person, and go, well, that one's on fire, and all of the rest of these are not. Fire means life. This must be the one true God. You see that? So you feel that? We don't believe that way, but you can see the leap.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if you have all of these deities, there's 3 different kinds of deities. There's star deities, land deities, and ancestral deities. And if you find a different kind of deity, tell me and I'll add it to my list, but I think that's the 3 kinds. Like, this is the kind of a star deity, say Astarte, or Venus, or Zeus. star gods, planets, right? Related planets. Now, local deity is breed of this well. She's a local deity. All of the Russian gods are local deities. Russians will tell you that you cannot worship Russian deities outside of Russia. Yeah. I've listened to a man say, I worship my deities outside of Russia, but all of my friends will tell me that I cannot.
You have a spiritual connection.
Well,
He, being Russian, started in Russia, he moved. The connection didn't die.
well, I think that you can take your gods with you. I think that's what American Gods is all about, is people taking their gods with them to America. And then, so like deity of this well, deity of this river, Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is a local deity.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Her name is Tahoma.
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 You've heard the mythologies about Mount Rainier, right? She disappears.
I
The
bought
disappear.
my house, so I have a view of Mount Rainier.
So the disappearing mountain. Yeah, she's a local deity. That's a perfect example. And then ancestral deities. Marie Laveau's an ancestral deity. People still pray to her. Wakes me up in the middle of the night. No. It did when I was in New Orleans, but it doesn't here.
Say, yeah. Boy.
All the Asatru gods are ancestral deities. Yes? Norse gods are ancestral deities. Odin was a person. Caridwen was a person at one time. Celtic. I don't know my Celtic and Norse. White people gods, I don't know. I'll study the Greeks.
Isis
They're
and
white
Osiris.
ISIS.
They were both believed to have been alive in pre-dynastic Egypt, and they were believed that they were so powerful as magicians that they became as one with gods, as gods.
Okay, yeah. I believe that. ISIS is incredible. So the reason that we invoke deity is because you have these amazing adventures with them, just like I talked about with Fortuna. If I'm going to invoke Fortuna, I end up in Vegas twice in a row. Like, I'm like, why am I in Vegas? Oh, that's right, Fortuna. I didn't plan to come to Vegas. Here I am. My daughter eloped. She's like, I'm going to elope in Vegas. And I was like, little girl, if you go and elope without me, we're going to have a problem. And she was like, you can come if you want to come. Do you want to come? I didn't think you'd come. Do you want to come? I'm on my way. So, Vegas. Who knew? I didn't know. You find out things about deity that aren't written down. Okay? So do you want to just know what's in the books? Or do you want to have true experience? Because witches don't believe they know, and the reason that they know is because they've experienced it. I held the Great Mother 2 years ago to meet her. And I learned things about, now I have been invoking Demeter. The first deity I ever prayed to was the Great Mother. I didn't know that it was Demeter. I just prayed to the Great Mother. That just seemed like the deity that I should pray to. I don't know what her name is. I'm just going to pray to the Great Mother because I don't know. And so 30 years later, she's like, you've been praying to me since you started. I was like, oh, I guess that's true. I did pray to the Great Mother. And she's always been really important to me. But I had no idea that because she was the goddess of grain and agriculture, that she didn't really like money. We pray to her for money. She's like, you don't need money. Go grow things. Everything is free out there. I made a whole world for you that's free. This whole money thing's a racket. Takes your freedom away from you. Go grow things. You don't need to buy things. Just go make them. I'm like, oh man. That's right. You did teach me to be very resourceful when I was 20. I did not remember. And you can read all of the books in the world, but until a goddess is standing in front of you going, what is this? And you go, I get it. It's a seed. It's rebirth. It's possibilities. She's like, it's food. You're sitting in the dark too long, witch. All of your magical training is going to help you none if you die of starvation. The goddesses of the light are about real things. Real things. Which, you know, witches are often in pursuit of the darker things. We want to know what happens after you die. Right? Right? But there's a whole creation aspect that's a lot of fun to explore. And Wicca is a fertility religion, right? So when you have those deep experiences, Hera tells me all about the queen and the leadership and all of that stuff that you can't get out of books. There's lessons that I learned from Hera that I didn't have words for, because it was a whole night of walking around with her and the things that my mind saw on the ground that weren't really there and things like that, you know, that the experience that I had. That is why we invoke, okay? And we become priests and priestesses so that we can invoke and share that information with people who can't, okay? Because not everybody believes that they can do it. Even if they're doing it. I had one of my dear friends, my belly dance teacher that I talked about with the belly dancer. She was very new to Wicca, so I started taking belly dance lessons, and the belly dance teacher and the other lady that became my best friend, and actually the other lady's name is Stacia. She's now the high maiden of the church. And then Cara is now the dean of Wiccan Seminary. So we all met, and we were like, I don't know, Charlie's Angels or the Bopsy Twins or the Indigo or whatever it was, but we were a trio. We were a charmed triad of power. And we had so much fun. Why was I bringing up Cara again? Oh, dancing. Okay, so Lammas. We were at Lammas and we did this dance together. I did a lot of prayer dancing at that time, ritual dance. And we were all exploring that together. And we did our dance and it was all awesome and we were done. And Cara disappeared. And I'm like, hey, we're just standing around talking, having a good time. Where's Cara? They're like, I don't know, she disappeared right after the dance. And I'm like, uh-oh. So I go into the parking lot and Cara is sitting on the back of the tailgate of the truck and she's just, I need to be alone right now, Bella. I need to be alone. I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. I just need to get over the performance. It was very intense. I don't know. I was like, I think you're info. And she's like, I'm sure that I'm not. I'm sure, I just need you to leave me alone for a minute. And I was like, let me try devoking you and see if that makes a difference. And she's like, well, okay, if you just insist. Well, I do. So I devoked her. And she was like, whoa, whoa. Whoa, I feel better. That was what invoke. I said, well, that's what invoking feels like when you're like, oh my God, what's happening to me? It can feel different, but if you brace yourself and you don't know what's going on, sometimes it can be very uncomfortable, you know. I had a friend invoke Kali before, not really knowing what she was doing, and she was mad at her soon-to-be ex-husband, and that was a tough day. That was a tough day, and you know it can come in a little bit crazy. So there's ways to get around that. All right, everybody seen The Exorcist? That traumatized me as a child.
I read the book, actually.
Traumatized me as a child. I was afraid of the dark for a very long time. Really, it's the reason that I started studying witchcraft, because I was afraid the demons were going to get me. So, the whole thing about the thing that you're the scaredest of is what you're supposed to do. Now I'm a channeler. I do possession. That's what I do. I was terrified of it when I was 12. I thought the devils were going to get me. So I have researched how to do this safely, and I can tell you how to do it wrong. Okay, so let's go with wrong first. Okay? Wrong. Just opening yourself up to anybody's going to jump in you, that's a bad idea. There are all kinds of things walking around out here that want to experience a body. They want to remember what an apple tastes like. They want to have sex with your wife. There are all kinds of things out here that can just jump in your body if you want them to. You're not supposed to do that. That's why people caution against it in all religions, to not open yourself up like that. Okay? It's just a bad idea. Don't just invoke whatever deity wants to come to me. That's all. That's opening yourself up for your hard lessons. I think I would like to come face to face with my shadow today, please. Don't do that. I'm not asking for that. So
The teaching gods will keep you safe.
don't. No. Yeah. So you have to be specific. Remember last time when I said witchcraft can be done really badly? Yes, that's why you're in class, because you don't do that. So don't do those things. You want to know who you're invoking, and you want to know how to do it, and you want to know how to stop when you're ready. Okay? So the appropriate way to invoke a deity is to say their name 3 times in 3 different ways. If you noticed when I was calling to Goddess, I said her name in several different ways. Mother Goddess, by whatever name that you come to us, you are the all-giving, abundant mother. Because I don't want to exclude some obscure Mother Goddess from whatever backgrounds one of you might have, Baba Yaga, or whatever. You might have something that I don't know about, and I want them to be welcome too. But I want to dial in specifics of what kind it is, because I want the green stuff. So like the voodoo, you wear the color of the energy that you want to draw into you. That's one really good way, and you don't have to do that. That's a really good one. There's several different ways. But you want to say the name 3 times. Persephone, Mother of Witches, Queen of the Underworld, Goddess of Spring, Wife of Hades, Daughter of Demeter, Child of Flowers, Maiden of Spring. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can call to her. Daughter of Zeus. There's a lot of different ways that you can call to her. Although, she says that's questionable. And then, so find out who they are, know who they are, research their mythology so that you know enough about them that you can call to them in 3 different ways. If you do not know a deity, don't invite them into your house. You ever invited somebody over, like somebody knocks on your door and they're like, I want to talk to you about Jesus Christ, and you're like, oh, sure, and then you can't get them out? Okay, think about that. You want to know who you're inviting into your house, lest they be Mormon missionaries. or some other kind of evangelical deity trying to... Don't think deities won't try to recruit you. They will. Did I just tell you the story about Fortuna going, you worship me? And me like, not so much. And she's like, oh yeah, let me show you how. 5 cents, 17.55. Are you convinced yet? Okay. Now, worship me. Buy me a big statue, put it on the altar. Do you think I did that? Yes, I did, because when God's tell me to do things, I usually do them. So that's why you want to be careful about who you invite over. Know who they are, read their stories, figure out what they're going to do in your life, because Kali is going to bring in a lot of destruction. We have a wonderful story with my daughter that she's got this tattoo of, who is it? Ganesh. And her life just started falling apart after she got this tattoo of Ganesh. It's a baby Ganesh. It's really, really cute, just completely adorable. She's like, Mama, why is my life so, why does this keep happening? I'm like, well, man, I don't know, sweetheart. I mean, you're the daughter of a priestess. I would imagine that you're born to be a priestess. You should probably get your magic right and stop messing around. She's like, I'm trying. So everything goes wrong. So then we find out about Ganesh. And if his trunk is pointed a certain way, and if he's doing this, or if he's doing this, or if he, and all of those things mean something. And we found out that baby girl done tattooed a Ganesh on her that was not coming from his highest place, and was very bombastic. And with a bombastic Ganesh, you have to think about a dancing elephant. Do you want a dancing elephant in your life? No, because why? Because they tear everything up, right? So she got it covered up. Her life has gotten way better since then, right? So you have to be careful what you invite into your life, because you don't know. do not know. All right. I had somebody come in with a tattoo of a tarot card on the back of his leg, and we're like, you like failure. You like things to be shook down. You like being at the bottom. Okay. Okay. Because that's what you're inviting into your life, right? Yeah, when you get magical things tattooed on you, you should pay attention to what they are.
I had a friend of mine tattoo the tower on his shoulder. I'm like,
That's what I, yeah, dude tattooed a tower right here. It's like you don't want friends.
and I had another friend of mine take the name of Aten, the heretic pharaoh of ancient Egypt.
Oh.
And he didn't know why everybody in his life, after a little while, started just hating him and treating him like crap. And I'm like, you are aware that you took the name of people who, after he died in ancient Egypt, they destroyed all of his images and blotted his name from the temples? And he's like, what's wrong with that? In Egyptian culture, that means that they're trying to kill your soul.
Yes, that's why do you have to ask what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
I mean, but also, how about the name Merlin? And then suddenly you can't get laid. That
Because
happens.
he was celibate.
Celibate.
That's
Yeah,
why
so-
my magical name's Jackalope.
And what powers does that give you, baby?
Coyote ones, but don't talk about that.
I did not choose my name, and I did not realize. People ask me about Belladonna Laveau. So Bella means beautiful, Donna means lady, Laveau means of the calf, or of calf, of the calf.
Calf?
Mhm,
As
like a
in
cow.
baby cow?
Like a
Okay.
baby cow.
Okay.
Well, at the time, my coven was Covenant of Wise. I was the high priestess of Covenant of Wise. And they would call us cows as a derogatory thing when they didn't like us, like the community, other people that, the other
Because
people in the
it's
community.
Covenant of Wise.
Covenant of Wise, COW.
Church of Wicca, cow even.
I got my feelings hurt about that until I realized that cows were sacred to Venus.
And that your
Right.
last name is
And that my
Laveau.
last name, and that goddess calls me Belladonna Laveau. Well, when I looked up the Laveau, I was like, of the calf. It was the cow thing was already happening. I was like, my name literally means beautiful lady of the cow. I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you, mother. I'll take it. Because I was like, I don't know. I'm a very stubborn student. She has to just beat me into submission sometimes. Time are we getting?
Let's see, we're 32 minutes into it. It is 18:43.
Okay, so when you were a kid, you had
6:43.
heroes. You probably have heroes now still. You have to look at your heroes to know what kind of patron deities you have. What's your hero? When you were a kid?
Really young. Superman.
Superman. So Superman translates into what god? No, Dusty. Tell me.
Zeus.
Why?
Father God, all powerful, can't be taken out. Yeah.
All powerful. The be all end all.
In the later comics, he is a descendant of Ra.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting. There you go. He would definitely be a solar deity
Yeah.
because he gets all of his power from the sun. And you know what? He might be Apollo because he's a little bad with women.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Clark Kent would be willing. I don't know if Apollo would be willing to ugly himself and nerd himself up like that.
Oh, well, definitely Zeus would.
So,
Like, what, baby? I'm a swan.
I'm a
Sorry.
swan over here.
Heroes.
Cartoon characters when you were a kid? Favorite cartoon characters?
Joe DiMaggio? I mean, it can be a sports hero.
Wonder Woman. That's straight up Diana right there. They even call her out. They even call her out. Yeah, they don't make any bones that that's a deity that they're talking about. But mine too.
DC Comics, though. DC Comics really uses deity archetypes. Batman is
Disney
Hades.
does too.
You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you use mythology for your storytelling, you're bound to strike.
The Flash is Hermes. I mean,
I don't know. I'm a little off Voyager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Athena.
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 She just wows me.
Yeah.
And so you think it's, and I thought about.
She might have a little bit of Hera in there too.
That is true.
She's a little bit of queen too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, I'll pursue that. And first I thought Diana maybe,
I was gonna say she could be
but
Artemisian.
then I was reading about her, and because we love our dogs, and we've always had dogs. But I read online, you can't believe everything you read online. I read that Diana killed the dogs. That can't.
I don't know about
I don't know that story.
I don't know that. I don't know about
So
it.
I don't know. I'm thinking somewhere between, Janeway. She takes good care of herself.
If there is a mythology about Diana killing her dogs, that's a symbol. That's symbology. Okay, they're not any real dogs. Diana's not really a person.
Yeah.
She's the moon. So if there is a mythology about that, it has probably got something to do with Hecate and crossing over and the three dogs.
Well,
Okay,
thank you, 'cause I
three-headed
think
dog,
I read
three-headed.
about that too, and I thought,
Yeah. So anytime like Saturn eating his kids and then throwing them up full grown and stuff, see that didn't really happen like that. That's symbolism.
Okay.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah.
You're reading this stuff.
I mean, if you think about it, okay, so a king eats his baby and then throws it up full grown. How long has he been walking around with these people growing up inside of him? That's not real. That didn't happen. That didn't happen like that. That's a symbol. That means something else.
I think that it represents how Saturn, the planet, gobbled up the baby moons and stopped them from becoming big planets. And then Jupiter came into our solar system from across the solar system, aka Zeus was reared away from his father, knocked everything out of alignment.
Completely
shook
different
those
class.
babies. Okay, my bad.
Completely different class.
Uranus did it first.
Yeah, Uranus did it first, and then Saturn repeated it, which is also symbolic, because mythology is about symbols. It's not about real people, okay? And so they're telling you a lot of different things there. So it's important to know also that when you're invoking these entities into you, you're not invoking people. So what are they doing right now? Because me and the goddess had to have a conversation this morning about the fact that we have a class about her today and her daughter's not back yet, and how's she going to behave? Because this is not the best time for you to talk to Demeter, but I thought I'd bring her out and let you talk to her. Not right this minute. We're going to do some other things first. But I want to make sure that she doesn't go, oh my God, I'm so sad, I'm so sad. You know what I'm saying? Because she might. She's not gonna. We talked about it. But if I don't talk to her, that may exactly be what happens, because she's got her own stuff going on. She's in winter. This is not a good time for her.
But part of us, if we're going to really call Demeter, if we're going to super garden, we're preparing now.
We are preparing now.
We're starting seeds inside, and
Yeah, but she's not going to be happy until she gets her daughter back, and that's the spring equinox. So you can prepare, but you know how you plant and they kind of sit there and they kind of sit there, and then all of a sudden they go poof.
yeah.
That's when she gets her daughter back.